Something feels strange around Caitlin Clark, and it's not what people think. She enters the league with hype, lights, and pressure, but instead of praise, she gets smiles that feel tight, answers that feel short, and comments that quietly shift the focus away from her. Coaches don't attack her directly, they do something smarter. They talk about different styles, they call her shots tough, they praise others around her, and somehow the spotlight moves without ever leaving her. It looks normal at first, but if you listen closely, it sounds like a message. Not loud, not obvious, but clear enough for those paying attention. Because if she was just another rookie, why do defenses change shape the moment she touches the ball? Why do two defenders step up before she even crosses half court? Why do entire game plans bend just to slow her down? That is not luck, that is gravity, and everyone on the floor feels it. Still, when the questions come, the answers dodge, pivot, and redirect, like saying her confidence is just this generation, like saying her big shots are just difficult attempts, like reducing repeated brilliance into coincidence. And that is where it gets interesting, because when something keeps happening again and again, it is not random anymore, it is control. Yet control is the one word they avoid using. Instead, they talk around it, as if naming it would make it real in a way they cannot manage. Even moments of clear impact get softened. A deep three becomes a lucky bounce, a perfect read becomes a broken play, a highlight becomes a footnote. But watch the game, not the words. Watch how players react, how defenders hesitate, how the pace changes when she speeds up. That is where the truth lives. And then comes the physical side. The bumps, the grabs, the extra contact that sits right on the edge of what is allowed. Some say it is normal, some say it is just part of the game, but the pattern tells a different story. Because when one player keeps getting tested like this, it is not random anymore, it is strategy. And when asked about it, the answers stay calm, almost too calm, like nothing unusual is happening, like everything is under control. But if everything is normal, why does it feel so intense every time she plays? Why does every possession look like a challenge instead of just another play? This is where the real game starts, not on the scoreboard, but in the space between words and actions. A space where respect is not given, it is delayed, redirected, or reshaped. Some voices even go further, questioning if she can handle the physical level, if she is fast enough, strong enough, ready enough. But here's the twist. If she truly was not ready, teams would not build walls to stop her. They would not send help early. They would not track her like the main threat every single night. You do not over-prepare for something you do not fear. And that is the quiet truth hiding under every careful sentence. The league is adjusting, not just to a player, but to what she brings with her. Attention, pressure, money, eyes from outside that were not watching before. And that kind of change does not come easy. It creates tension, it creates resistance, and sometimes it creates silence where there should be praise. But silence can speak too, and right now it is speaking loudly, because while the words stay controlled, her game does not. She keeps shooting, keeps passing, keeps finding space where there should be none, turning pressure into moments that people cannot ignore. And every time she does it, the gap between what is said and what is seen gets wider. That gap is where the story lives. A story not about one player, but about a shift happening in real time. A shift where old rules meet new energy, where comfort meets disruption, where control meets something harder to contain. And in the middle of it all stands Caitlin Clark, not asking for approval, not waiting for validation, just playing through the noise. Maybe that's why the message feels like a warning, because it's not trying to stop her directly, it's trying to shape how she is seen, how she is talked about, how her impact is measured. But the more it tries, the more obvious it becomes, because you cannot hide something that shows up every single game. You cannot downplay something that forces everyone to react, and you definitely cannot ignore something that keeps growing no matter how you frame it. So now the real question is not what they are saying, but why they are saying it this way. And once you start asking that, everything looks different. The smiles, the words, the silence, it all starts to connect. And suddenly, it doesn't feel like normal analysis anymore. It feels like something bigger, something unfolding step by step, game by game, a quiet pushback against a loud arrival, a controlled response to an uncontrollable rise. And the wild part is, this is only the beginning, because if this is how they react now, imagine what happens when she gets even better, even stronger, even harder to stop. That's when the real shift hits. And by then, it might be too late to control the story at all.